Disclaimer: this documentary is based on verified historical records, publicly available reporting, and official investigative information. Some visuals are illustrative recreations and not authentic footage of the individuals or events. A family of 3 drove deep into the Oklahoma wilderness, parked their truck, and simply vanished. Their wallets were still inside, their phones, their dog, and even $32,000 in cash. Why would anyone leave everything behind and disappear into the mountains? The Jamison family mystery. Every 20 to 30 seconds, a new clue emerges. Every answer breeds another question. This is not a ghost story. It is an investigation. We separate facts from theories and leave speculation where it belongs. Because somewhere between what was found and what was missing is the truth. Chapter 1. The road that led them here. Bobby and Sherilynn Jamison and their 6-year-old daughter Madyson lived an ordinary life by most accounts. Friends described them as private, close-knit, navigating financial stress and health concerns like many American families. They were looking for land, rural, secluded, a new start in the Oklahoma mountains. Destination: a remote property near the Sans Bois Mountains in Latimer County. On an October day in 2009, they set out to visit a 40-acre parcel they were considering. The route carried them from the small-town grid into winding mountain roads. Phone reception thinned. The forest thickened. This area can swallow sound and signal alike. They were not lost. They had a goal: examine land, then return home. The plan, by all reasonable inference: drive in, look, decide, drive out. But deep country has its own rules: terrain, weather, and time. In these hills, evening comes early. A GPS device would later prove pivotal. Nothing at this point signaled catastrophe. A family trip to walk land became the beginning of a mystery. Within hours, the ordinary would be over. Chapter 2. Days later, the Jamisons' pickup was found on a rugged road in Latimer County. No immediate signs of a struggle. Wallets still inside. Phones still inside. Their dog was found alive in the vehicle, malnourished but surviving. Inside, approximately $32,000 in cash. Why would a family walk away from money, phones, and identification? The vehicle's GPS would later show coordinates the family apparently visited that day. A short distance away, up rough terrain. But from the truck itself, no note, no clear direction. Belongings intact. No sign the truck had been ransacked. If robbery wasn't the motive, what happened? The scene raised more questions than answers. A vehicle left behind suggests intention to return, or an interruption. Next came the search. Chapter 3. A county mobilizes. Helicopters, deputies, volunteers, and tracking dogs poured into the mountains. A grid search began around the truck and beyond. Terrain: steep, brush, dense. Weather: shifting. Tracking dogs attempted to follow scent with mixed results reported. Air assets scanned ridges and hollows. Potential signs, like a makeshift fire ring, were cataloged, none conclusive. No clear footprints, no campsite, no note. The search footprint expanded mile by mile. Days turned into weeks. No trace of the family emerged. Time pressed forward. Leads thinned. The absence of evidence became its own kind of evidence. Then investigators reviewed what happened before the trip. Chapter 4. Footage from days prior, now under a microscope. Home security footage captured the Jamisons making multiple trips between their house and truck. They appear focused, quiet, repeatedly loading items. The pattern suggests methodical packing over a sustained period. Investigators noted their demeanor, but stopped short of drawing clinical conclusions. Verified observation. Multiple silent trips. Minimal interaction seen on camera. Fact: they loaded the truck. Fact: no overt distress is evident on the footage reviewed. We do not know their private conversations, intentions, or health states based on video alone. The footage gives sequence, not motive. Items seen at home correspond to gear, later documented in the vehicle. The timeline remains consistent. Pack, depart, arrive. And then, why abandon everything? From observable behavior to unanswered outcomes, a gulf remains. Chapter 5. We begin with what is established, and clearly separate what is theorized and what is speculation. Fact. In October 2009, the Jamison family traveled to rural Latimer County to view land. Fact. Their truck was found with wallets, phones, their dog alive, and roughly $32,000 in cash. Fact. A GPS device in the truck recorded coordinates to a nearby location. Fact. Extensive searches initially found no trace of the family. Fact. Years later, remains were discovered and identified as the Jamisons. Cause of death was undetermined. Investigative theories explored multiple possibilities without reaching a firm conclusion. Theory. The family became disoriented in rugged terrain and succumbed to exposure. Theory. They encountered foul play away from the vehicle. Theory. They walked away, intending a brief recon and met unforeseen danger. Theory. Health or psychological factors may have influenced decision-making. Public speculation ranged widely online and in media, none confirmed. Claims and counterclaims multiplied in the absence of answers. We do not present speculation as fact. Contradiction. Abandoned valuables contrast with a vehicle parked without visible damage. Timeline reveal. GPS indicates movement away from the truck area, then back. New clue. Short daylight windows and falling temperatures increased risk. Update. Despite aerial and ground sweeps, initial operations missed the future recovery site. Witness statements over the years added context but did not produce a definitive break. Authorities publicly stated that, after remains were identified, the manner and cause of death could not be determined. Evidence existed, but not enough to close the question of how or why. Key question: what drew them away from the vehicle? Chapter 6. Discovery years later. In 2013, hunters in the mountains discovered skeletal remains in the wilderness. Law enforcement secured the area and initiated forensic recovery. Location: within a few miles of where the truck had been found. The remains were examined and subsequently identified as Bobby, Sherilynn, and Madyson Jamison. Due to decomposition and environmental exposure, determining cause of death proved difficult. Authorities reported that the manner and cause of death could not be conclusively established. Timeline reveal. 4 years between disappearance and discovery. What happened in between remains unknown. Families seek closure. Communities seek answers. 1 question was answered. 2 were not. In the end, the mountains kept more than they returned. Ending. This program uses verified records and public reporting. Some visuals are recreations. A closing reflection remains. Final words, then silence. Years later, investigators found answers to some questions, but not all. The Jamison family mystery remains one of America's most haunting unsolved cases, reminding us that even when evidence is found, the truth can remain just out of reach. Some mysteries never truly end. Disclaimer: this documentary is based on verified historical records, publicly available reporting, and official investigative information. Some visuals are illustrative recreations and not authentic footage of the individuals or events. Thank you for watching.